Am I the a-hole for suing my cousin for $6,000 to pay for my hearing aids after he threw me in the pool? My family is completely on my cousin's side with this whole ordeal, and I need some outside judgment because I just don't get it. My cousin to 5M has always been the golden child in our family. He's the only boy in our generation, and he's always been the center of attention. Everyone dotes on him. He's charming, outgoing, and knows how to make people laugh. On top of that, he's the only boy amongst a bunch of girls, which made him even more special in my family's eyes. But honestly, I've never liked him. To me, he's just irresponsible, childish, and downright annoying, especially with his love of harmless pranks. I've struggled with hearing problems for years, and just a few months ago, I finally got a pair of high-end hearing aids. They were custom, cost me $6,000, and have been life-changing. I was super careful with them, always making sure to take them out if I was anywhere near water or something that could damage them. So fast forward to my grandmother's birthday party last month. We were all gathered on the back porch, eating and drinking by the pool, having a nice family gathering. My cousin was there, being his usual self, cracking jokes and horsing around. At one point, he decided that it would be hilarious to pick me up and throw me into the pool. I had just gotten my hair done earlier that day, so aside from the hearing aids, I wasn't in the mood to be drenched, and I made that very clear. I repeatedly told him to stop, using a firm and serious tone. There was nothing playful about my protests. I told him, "Put me down. I'm not joking." But of course, he thought I was just being uptight. Before I knew it, he picked me up and tossed me into the pool, despite my very vocal objections. I got out of the pool completely drenched, and the worst part, my hearing aids were completely ruined. They're not waterproof, and I hadn't had time to take them out before he threw me in. When I told him what he had done and how much the hearing aids cost, he just shrugged it off like it was no big deal. He said, "Oh, whoops, I didn't know you had hearing aids now." Like that was some kind of excuse. Naturally, I told him he needed to replace them, and that's when he freaked out. He said no way and refused to pay for them. His argument was that he's in college, barely making ends meet with a call center job, and he couldn't afford to pay me back. He and his girlfriend have a baby, and they live in a tiny one-bedroom apartment, so he's financially struggling, to say the least. My family, of course, took his side. They told me I was being unreasonable because I make significantly more money than him. I've got a stable job, a house, and no kids. In their eyes, I should just let it go because of his situation. But it's not like I could just magically afford to replace my hearing aids either. $6,000 isn't exactly pocket change, and I need them to function properly in my day-to-day life. Since he refused to take responsibility, I had no choice but to take him to court. I won, and he was ordered to pay me back. However, he refused to make the payments, so I had to take him back to court, and now his wages are being garnished at the maximum rate to 20% of his income. This has pushed him and his girlfriend to the brink financially. He's had to drop out of college to work extra hours just to make ends meet and keep paying their rent. Now my entire family is furious with me. They think I'm ruining his life over one stupid prank, and they keep telling me that I'm being heartless, especially because this is affecting his girlfriend and their child. But honestly, I don't feel like I'm in the wrong here. He never apologized sincerely. If he had given me a real apology and asked if he could pay me back after finishing school, I would have been willing to work with him. But he's been arrogant and dismissive throughout this whole process, digging his heels in like he's the victim. So AITA for taking him to court and making him pay. The only part of me that feels slightly guilty is knowing that his child and girlfriend are suffering for his mistakes. But at the same time, I think this situation is entirely his fault, and he's never taken any responsibility for his actions. Should I have handled it differently?